So today we're going to do the handover video on the Burstner Lyseo TD745. We're going to start on the outside and then we're going to move on to the inside. So firstly on the outside, filling up. Your filling up point is on your passenger side. You've got your diesel point and then you've also got your AdBlue, which is just there. If you open up your passenger door, you notice you've got your bonnet release catch, which is just here. If you pull that, as I say, that'll release the bonnet. Whilst we're here, I'll talk over your Rcd cab blinds. Your Rcd cab blinds you've got on the side of the windows and also the front as well. To operate these, all you've got to do is pinch and pull. I typically find that it's a lot easier if you lead with the bottom to then get it connected here, as the top will then follow. And then simply connect back in. Moving around to the bonnet. Underneath the bonnet, to open this, your latch is just in line with your Burstner logo, which is just here. Once the bonnet's open, the main thing that you need to know is if you're ever wanting to jump start the vehicle. If this is the case, your negative goes onto here, and then you have your positive underneath here, underneath this cap. On the top of that cap you've got a little plus sign just to show you that it's the positive. Then all you need to do is get your key, lever that up to access the point where you can hook up. So positive and negative. Whilst we're under here, I'll also show you a couple of things. You've got your engine oil, which is here, along with your dipstick, your brake disc fluid, your engine coolant, your power steering fluid, which is this one here, and then your washer fluid, which is just in there. Moving along the outside of the vehicle, you've got your habitation door, which is into there, along with your electric step. You've then got your toilet cassette and your external barbecue point, which is just into there. In regards to your toilet cassette, when removing this you need to make sure that the blade on the toilet is closed, so you can then simply remove the cassette. When doing this, lift up on the handle and slide out. You can then empty the system. Oh, as a rule of thumb, I say if it feels like it's being forced, you're probably doing something wrong. Always check that that blade is closed. If it's open, it'll make contact with the actual cassette and it'll be difficult to remove, so make sure that that's the case. Next you've got your TV and aerial point, which is external to the vehicle, and then finally you've got your garage. You've got another access door on the other side as well, along with your carpets in there and your jack system, which is just there. You can also see that you've got your awning here, which is just on the vehicle. When using this, obviously, as you can imagine, it's a massive sail, so only use this when there's no breeze at all. When using it, the awning pole is like a T. It connects into the fuel awning, turn it and allow it to drop, and then simply wind out. Once you've wound it out to a certain level which can reach it, then drop the legs out, swing them out, let it take the weight of the awning, and then simply wind out and walk out the awning. Moving to this side, you've got your reversing camera, which is on the back there, and then also another locker door into your garage, which is just there. Moving along, you've next got your fridge vents, which is just there, and one up at the top, and also your gas locker, which is just in there for you. Main important thing to know with gas is obviously always have it off at the bottle when travelling, for health and safety. Next, you've got your Truma Vents here. This in essence is the vehicle's chimney, and it's for your boiler system. Never hang anything on here because it gets awfully hot, so just make sure about that. Finally, you've got your convenience locker. The nice thing with Burstners is they put it all in one area for you. So this includes all your drain down points and your fill up points. So firstly, you can see you've got your freshwater tank. Your freshwater tank, as shown here, will take 120 litres. All you've got to do when filling this up, remove this cap, then use this to slide onto there, and then you've got your hose pipe in. You know it's full when it comes out, and as I say, this will take 120 litres. Now, draining this system, to drain this system down, you can see that you've got your black knob, which is just on the top here. To drain this system down, all you've got to do is turn this, and you can see that opens the tank and drains the system down. When draining this down, you've got two settings. So you can either drain down the whole system at 120 litres, or as you can notice here, you can drain the system down to 20 litres, which we recommend if you're ever going on site and you have to travel with water, travel with 20 litres due to payload and also weight distribution. If that's the case, to drain it down to 20 litres, turn this, and when you're turning it, you'll feel a lug. When you get to that lug, stop there, and that'll drain the whole system down to 20 litres. If you want to drain the whole thing down, whole 120 litres, you need to keep turning past that lug until you can't turn anymore, and then that, as I say, will drain down all the system. And what we say with all your drain down points is leave them open, because when you're driving, the vibrations of the road will empty the whole system. And as you can imagine, you know, it's just water, so there's no harmful chemicals in there. If you want to clean this system, all you've got to do is remove this and then clean it out. Next, you've got your hookup point, which is just into here, and then below that you've got some more drain down points. You've got your frost protection valve, and then also your boiler drain down point. Your frost protection valve, in essence, drains down your boiler, and it's a fail safe. At the moment it's closed. You know it's closed because the nib in the diamond is down and the tab on the side is in. If I open this, you can notice that nib on the top pops up and then the blue tab pops out. To close this system, all you've got to do is turn the diamond and then push the tab in, just like that. And as I say, that'll stop your boiler from draining down. In regards to this, what often happens is if you've not used the vehicle in a while, or it's particularly cold, inside of this is a film which reacts to temperature. Now, what might happen is, especially if you've not used the vehicle in a while, this area will be quite cold. So you'll go to close the system. So you'll close it. You'll push this blue tab in. However, this blue tab will keep pinging out, as I say, because it's too cold. So what you need to do is, if that's the case, go inside your vehicle, turn the heating on, and you can see you've got this pipe here. What that's going to do is it's going to heat this area and provide it with enough warmth that you can then close the system. In regards to your heating system, you can run it without water, so don't worry about that. And once you've done that, you're good to go. Pop that back in and you've closed your system. But what I say with all your drain down points, in fact, is leave open, especially when storing, to make sure you don't get any frozen water in your system. Next to that, you've got, as I say, another drain down point. That is everything from the boiler onwards. At the moment it's closed. If you ping that up, that opens the system. Again, make sure that that's open when you come to store the vehicle. Moving on from your convenience locker, you've got one more drain down point, which is your waste drain down. That is located where this sticker says. So indicated by this sticker, it's just underneath there. You can see that grey pipe, and then you've got this long square rod which is coming out. To empty this system, you have this black handle which comes in your convenience locker. All you've got to do is connect that on and then turn it. Once you've connected the rod on, simply pull down and that'll empty the system. Before we move on to the inside, one thing to mention as well, with your hookup cable, you've also got this notch in the seal here for the lead to come out of. You've then got a notch in the seal, which is just here for the lead to come out of, like so. Moving into the vehicle, we've next got your control panel as you walk in. So just to talk over your control panel, what you've got is you've got your master switch. Click that on, off rather, that turns everything off. Turn it on and that activates everything. You've then got down here your gauges. This is your vehicle battery, because it's a battery in the front of a vehicle and that shows your level. And then up at the top is your habitation battery, your leisure battery. Click that and again, it shows you where you're at. Across from there, you've then got your water levels. So here, if I click this, this is your wastewater. I've just drained down the system, so I've nothing in. And then up at the top, I've got the fresh water. I've got some water in there, and as you can see, it shows you your level. Finally, on this system, you've got your pump, which is just there. If I click that, that'll activate the pump. Obviously, only activate the pump when you've got water in the system, or else you will burn out the pump. What you then need to do is click this pump, go to all of your taps, including your shower, turn it to hot and turn it on. What that's going to do is going to pull water through the system, through the boiler and then out of the tap. Initially it'll spurt and splutter, and then when it's running steadily you've primed your system along with your boiler. Once you've done that, flick it over to cooled and do the exact same. Once it's all running steadily, you prime your system. You can leave your pump on then, because on each of your taps you've got an isolation switch, which will only activate the pump when you need it. And that's your control panel. Next, your Truma heating system. As I say, it's the vehicle uses a Truma system to heat the vehicle. Click this. Anything underneath the line is what you want to select. You've got this dial. When you turn that and each icon blinks, that's in essence you're hovering over the icon. Click in to select. Firstly, you've got your van temperature, which you can alter from here and go all the way up to 30 degrees. Again, when you want to select it, simply click the button in. If you want to go back, click this button there. Next along, you've got your water temperature. If I click that, you've got Eco, Hot or Boost. So Eco in essence is around about 40 degrees, and you're going to be using that when you're having a shower. Hot is approximately 70 degrees, and you're going to be using that when you're doing the dishes and washing up. Finally, you've got Boost, and what that does is it concentrates on heating the water. So instead of heating the vehicle, it'll stop concentrating on that, and as I say, concentrate on heating your water system. Next, I've got a gas bottle and 2 lightning strikes. If I click that, this is your fuel. So this is where you select where you want to actually, fuel your the Truma boiler with, what you want to fuel it with. So firstly, you've got gas. You've then got Mix 1, which is a mixture of gas and 1 kilowatt electric. Mix 2, which is a mixture of gas and 2 kilowatt electric. Then EL1, which is 1 kilowatt electric, and EL2, 2 kilowatt electric. If you're on site, for the most part, you're going to be using the EL2 when you're hooked up. However, certain sites, especially abroad, may actually limit you to the amount of power you can use, so you may be forced to use EL1. Obviously, in a van of this size, it's going to struggle. So what I recommend is having it on Mix 1 for that, or just gas. Moving along, you've then finally got your fan. With this, you've got hot. You can either choose between venting, which I'm on now because I've not got anything activated, or when it's on, you can use Eco or Boost. Eco is obviously just a light, is a light heater, and then with your Boost, that again will concentrate on heating the vehicle instead of heating your water. So it just works the exact opposite way. If I then go down, you've then got your timer, which is here, so you can set a time. You've got your clock, which you can alter, and then finally your settings. The only thing that you need to know really in your settings is your reset button, which is right at the back of the menu. The reason you're going to need to know this is if you ever get an error code. Now you're going to get an error code, for example, if you select a fuel that you've not got, for example. So say you select gas and you've not got any gas to the vehicle, you're going to get an error code which will flash up. If that's the case, you need to reset the system, go into your settings panel as I've just done, go all the way to reset, click that, and then it'll reset the system. So it won't have it. Alright. Just before quickly moving on, you've also got your lights here. You've got a porch light here for when you walk in, and then also things like door lights, awning lights, and also internal lights. You can see you've also got your step control there. Moving into the vehicle, on the floor you'll notice you've got panels. You've got one here and one at the back there in the kitchen area. Opening up there, you've got access into the floor for storage. Whilst I'm here as well, I'll also show you that you've also got these lights fixtures which can actually pull off and you can relocate around the vehicle. You've got a live track system which is just underneath there, which just connect on and connect in. Coming into your lounge area, you've also got seating here and seating forward facing here. You've got some storage underneath this seat which is just there. Moving into the kitchen, to begin with, underneath this drawer you'll notice you've got some switches here. What they are isolation valves. Don't touch them, only touch them if a technician advises you to. Underneath you've then got more storage, which is throughout the vehicle. You've then got some more worktop here which can be accessed just by sliding the top there. You've got your hob and your oven which is just there. And then finally underneath here you've got where your Rcd breaker is. Your Rcd breaker, obviously if your vehicle ever trips you need to come to this box here. You can access it here. You've also got a test button on here, so for example if the vehicle, if you can't get any power to the vehicle, you need to come to this, click test. If all these trip, you know that you're getting power to the vehicle, so therefore there's a fault with your van. From there you can then isolate the problem. And obviously if they don't, it'll be a fault with the campsite and not your vehicle. Whilst we're on the subject of fuses, all your fuses are located underneath your passenger seat. Next you've got your fridge which is here. Your fridge is a Dometic 3-way fridge. To operate it, simply click, that'll activate. You'll notice you've got a few options here. So just to explain what you've got your mains, gas and 12 volt. And it's called a 3-way fridge because you've got 3 ways to fuel it. Mains is when you're going to be hooked up, gas is when you're wild camping, and then your leisure battery is when you're travelling. A lot of people think they can run it off the leisure battery when you're wild camping. You can't, the fridge will just drain too much. If you are wild camping, as I say, you need to run it off the gas. You've then got this A button here. I leave this on for the A, and what this will do is automatically assign whichever fuel you've got. So if I'm hooked up to mains, it'll automatically flick over to mains. So I'll leave that on for you. You've then finally got your van temperature, your fridge temperature, which is just here, which you can alter by pressing this. And then finally a reset button, which you can see indicated on the sticker there. In the fridge itself, you can see you've got your freezer up at the top, and then the fridge makes up the rest of it. Opposite the kitchen area is your bathroom area. What you've got in here is your toilet cassette, and as I say, your shower, which we've discussed about priming your system, and your tap there. As I mentioned outside, the main important thing about your toilet is to always make sure that the blade on the toilet is closed. At the moment it's closed, you know that is, if you look down into the cassette, you can't see into it. If you open it, it'll open the slider and you can see into the cassette. When using this, open it so all the waste drops down into the cassette. Go to your flush, which is that blue button there, click your flush to rinse out the system, and then close the blade to stop any odours coming out. Whilst we're on the topic of your flush, as I say, it's just this blue button here which activates it, but you need to make sure that you have your pump on for that. Finally, on this system you'll also get a red light and an indicator just to tell you when your cassette is full. Finally, moving into the back, you can see that you've got your door on here, which is your dividing door to divide the areas, and then you've also got your wardrobe spaces for hanging, which is just in the back there. On all your windows you've got blackout blinds and also fly screens And just to explain the controls for you, to open up the window, simply open these, push out, and allow it to click into place. Once it's clicked into place and you want to put all the window all the way down, you need to push it all the way to the top, so it'll allow you to drop the window. You can actually have these on venting, if you notice, in the halfway position there. But obviously make sure that you, in this position here, to allow for a little bit of airflow just to come through here. However, make sure that this is closed when you're travelling. Finally, to operate your bed, what you need to do is firstly fold down the table, like so. You'll notice you've got these pads which allow it to support the bed. You then need to remove your back cushions, and you can remove the, and then you can lower the system. Once you remove the back cushions, you can then drop the bed. Come into this control panel here, turn the key, and then drop the system. Hold the button until it stops automatically. And what we say with your bed is you can leave all your bedding on, just with your pillows, store them in the 2 lockers at the side of the bed there. And there's your bed. That concludes the handover video on the Burstner 745.